Rachel Reeves has returned from China with a trade deal that will pay off the £22 billion black hole in just 183 years. Hello and welcome to GB News YouTube. I'm Patrick Christys. Chancellor Rachel Reeves has just returned from Beijing with what she's calling a significant milestone in Britain's relationship with China. But here's the kicker. It's a £600 million investment deal over 5 years. Now, in the grand scheme of international finance, that's pocket change. Former Conservative Party leader Sir Iain Duncan Smith didn't mince his words. He said, and I quote, "We are the laughing stock of the Western world." While the Chancellor was gallivanting in Beijing, back home, the UK economy was facing a crisis. Deloitte's latest survey of chief financial officers paints a grim picture. A net 26% of CFOs are feeling more pessimistic about their business prospects than they were just 3 months ago. This is the first time sentiment has dropped into negative territory since the second quarter of 2023. And remember, this survey includes CFOs from 29 FTSE 350 companies. These aren't small fry we're talking about. While Reeves was shaking hands in China, the pound was sliding against the dollar and the euro. Gilt bonds were reaching crisis levels. We're talking about Liz Truss levels here. And there's a very real possibility that Reeves might be forced to break her golden rule on borrowing. The Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supply is warning that imports on staples like food and electronic goods could go up by 20% this year due to global instability. Just what we need, right? Another potential inflation crisis looming on the horizon. The timing of this trip couldn't have been worse. Critics are calling it tone deaf. Whilst our economy is teetering on the brink, our Chancellor thought it was a good idea to fly halfway across the world for a deal that amounts to a rounding error in international trade. And let's not forget the optics. Reeves was seen visiting Brompton Bicycle's Beijing shop. Now, that might sound harmless, but here's the kicker. Brompton has implemented a recruitment freeze due to Reeves's own tax hiking budget. This whole debacle puts Labour in a tricky spot. They've been banging on about economic growth being their number one mission. Remember, they did that the whole run up to the election. What were they going to stand for? They were going to stand for economic growth. A vote for Labour was a vote for economic growth, an end to the chaos. But with business confidence tanking and international investors giving Britain the cold shoulder, that mission is looking shakier by the day. And it's not just the opposition pointing this out. A leading city advisor said, and I quote, "There's a whiff of desperation about it. I'm amazed they think 600 million over 5 years is a good thing." While Britain is struggling, the US is looking increasingly attractive to investors. A net 59% of CFOs surveyed by Deloitte see the US as an attractive place to invest. The UK, negative 12%. Could that have anything to do, I wonder, with Labour banging on about how much they hate millionaires and billionaires? I suspect it possibly could. We're even lagging behind EU economies, which are at negative 36%. And with Donald Trump set to take over the White House this month, that trend is likely to continue. Like him or loathe him, Trump's policies have been historically good for business confidence. The government, predictably, is putting on a brave face. Science Secretary Peter Kyle defended Reeves, saying she should come back with solid commitments for investment. But when your solid commitment is being widely mocked as puny, you might want to reconsider your definition of solid. The Treasury, meanwhile, is sticking to its guns. They're talking about their plan for change and an industrial strategy focused on advanced manufacturing. But with business confidence in the gutter and international investors looking elsewhere, those plans are starting to sound like wishful thinking. We also have the fact that food prices are set to rise by about 20% as well. And farmers are now talking about disrupting the supply chain as a direct response to Rachel Reeves' decision to slap them with a load more inheritance tax. So your food shop is likely to soar in cost as well. The decisions made in the coming weeks and months will shape Britain's economic future for years to come. Will we continue down this path of dwindling confidence, questionable deals, stagflation is being called, or will there be a course correction? Now, the future of Reeves was actually discussed on Britain's newsroom. Shall we take a little look?
Now, Keir Starmer wants the UK to be a great AI superpower. Yes, this all happened in a speech earlier today. He announced the government will adopt all 50 recommendations made by tech entrepreneur Matt Clifford to maximise the opportunities presented by AI.
How did that all go down in the room? Well, one man who was there was our political editor, Christopher Hope. And Christopher, you asked the Prime Minister a pretty pertinent question.
Yeah, hi Tom, hi Emily. Welcome back to UCL, where hours ago we heard from Sir Keir Starmer about the benefits of AI. He thinks those benefits can be felt within 3 or 4 years, not the 10 years that some have been forecasting. The government will be leaning into this whole policy. The talk of guardrails and concerns about the risk to us all, world peace even, those up there under Rishi Sunak, they've been forgotten. This government will be leaning into making the UK, as he called us, one of the world's great AI superpowers. He recognised there'll be concerns about AI. It might take jobs from, he's been asked on the radio over lunchtime about translators losing their work, but he says it's just changing how you work. And work with the technology, not against it. No point in fighting it. That's his focus, because the benefits could be huge, could be worth billions of pounds, tens of billions of pounds more to the economy when it gets there. But the point about that is when it gets there, because right now it's very difficult for the economy and for Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor, looking at the markets. We've got the pound down, we've got the economy flatlining. The long-term cost of borrowing, Tom, as you said, is very high. That's a problem. I asked the PM of Future about Rachel Reeves, Chancellor, and here's what he had to say.
Minister, even a 3-year wait for the benefits of AI is too long to help the economy now, this year and next year. The pound is down, the economy is flatlining. You know all this already. Companies are complaining about your budget in October. What's your plan? Will you cut the benefits bill? And yes or no, will Rachel Reeves be your Chancellor at the next general election?
I am confident in our mission for growth, and I'm confident, completely confident in my team. We never pretended, nor would anybody sensibly argue, that after 14 years of failure, you can turn around our economy and our public services before Christmas, before the election. I said it's not going to be possible to do this in 6 months. It's going to take time. The question is, are you creating the conditions? Do you have the determination? And are you pulling the right levers for growth? And we are doing all of those, underpinned by our fiscal rules.
The PM telling me there that it will take time. You can't do it in 6 months, and blaming the Tory party and the £22 billion black hole, which of course the government says that it inherited. Now, he was asked again by a newspaper journalist about the future of Rachel Reeves. He said this: Rachel Reeves has my full confidence and the confidence of the entire party. He added, I am 100% confident that we will get the growth we need. And that's the desperate need to get that, because currently, as economists tell us, this £9 billion worth of headroom they had in the forecasting has gone because of the issue of the jitters in the economy. They need to get the economy growing to avoid having to increase taxes, which they say they won't do, or more likely do more savage cuts to spending, which could involve better benefits bill. Now, Number 10 have been in touch since that question. They told me that we are barking at the wrong tree about Rachel Reeves' future, implying that Rachel Reeves is certain in that job. But it's quite telling, I think, that David Lammy, the Foreign Secretary, was given a guarantee he won't lose his job for 4 to 5 years by Number 10's press team last year. That has not happened today from Sir Keir Starmer.
One thing's for certain, the pressure is mounting on Rachel Reeves and the Labour government. In fact, there was a headline this weekend that said, and I quote, "She doesn't seem to see a way out and she's getting very depressed." Well, Rachel, you're not the only one. They promised economic growth, but so far all we've got is economic uncertainty and a slow trickle of money out of Britain. The clock is ticking, the people of Britain are watching, and at the moment it seems like she has two choices: slash the cost for public services, which no Labour Chancellor will ever do, or increase tax yet again, which frankly I don't think the British public are prepared to pay, given that we already have the highest tax burden since World War II. Oh, and just to round things off with another piece of good news, if you have a mortgage, it looks like that's going to go up within the next couple of months as well. Do you remember when we all heard about how Liz Truss has crashed the economy, how she's making your lives poorer and how your mortgages are directly her fault? Well, hang on a minute. Here we go. Mortgage rates could go up yet again. Let me know in the comments what you think about all of this. Can Rachel Reeves survive? Do you think she should survive? This has been Patrick Christys for GB News YouTube. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more original content.